And today we are going to be picking up playing some more Avorion. That's right, we're going to be picking up off of our old Avorion game. Here we are, tune on into our game view. Pretty good. So I've put in some time off camera on this game, so I've explored quite a bit of the, or well, not quite a bit of the map, but I've kind of thoroughly explored these few factions down here, these factions up here. We've got an ally in this faction, which is right on the barrier, which is good because they, I believe, have some systems just across the barrier, so we might be able to pick up the Oganite building knowledge right after we cross, which would be helpful. I found the barrier asteroid field, so that's right here. So once we get our last artifact, we'll go over to this sector and open up the portal. But in order to do that, we are currently missing just one of the artifacts. So we have artifacts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So we just need artifact number 7. Now to get artifact 7, what you need to do is fight the mobile energy lab. So while you've been exploring around in your Avorion game, you may have come across some of these energy research satellites, part of the Mad Science Association, right? Well, the way you get the energy lab or the mobile energy lab to spawn in to fight you, more or less, is you go around and you break 4 of these satellites. So I've gone around on the map and marked some out to make it a little bit easier for us. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with my main ship and blow up these 3 energy satellites. Then I'm going to hop into our defender ship over in this sector, hop into our drone and build the ship to actually fight the boss, and we'll use that to take out the 4th station. You want to have a specific ship for this boss fight, otherwise you will get obliterated pretty much instantly, so just bear that in mind. That's why we're doing it this way. But let's go ahead and fly on over and get right into the meat of it. You may see down on the left a bunch of ticks coming in saying money's come in and yada yada. That's because I have quite a few stations at this point generating just passive money for us, in addition to our trading ships and all that noise. So we have quite a bit of automation going on already, which is good. So there we go. We got our first satellite done. They're not very strong, the little satellites, just mind you, but whatever. We got a rare generator system delta out of that, so I guess that was good. But we lost some reputation with the mobile energy satellite, and that's fine. Doesn't matter. We're going to be at war with them because ultimately we're going to be fighting the mobile energy satellite, but that's fine. Not a big deal. We're going to hop over into... It's going to take us 2 jumps, I think, to get into the next sector. I honestly don't even need these. Like, I'll leave the auto fire on, but I'm going to turn off my, point defense turrets or whatever. My torpedo fighting turrets is what I like to think of them as. Those can be turned off. Nothing's shooting torpedoes at us right now. So not a big deal. What we might end up doing is we might pull off some of the turrets from our main boat here and stick them on the ship we're going to build to fight the lab, just so we have a little bit extra Omicron, so the fight goes a bit faster. But that's not necessary. We'll take a look when we jump into the builder and see how much DPS we can stick in this brick is basically what we're going to make, because it doesn't need to be anything more fancy than that. Cool. Here we go. Next satellite. There you are, my friend. Well, not really my friend, but there you are. Anyway, let's go ahead and set our coordinates so we can get the cooldown and all that noise going for our next warp over to the 3rd satellite. We're in range. Close enough. Good enough. Boom. 2 down, 2 to go. An encrypted message was broadcast from the destroyed satellite. So this is basically telling the main Big Daddy-O mobile lab that, hey, our satellites are getting shot up by this dude. Come do something about it. And eventually, once you destroy enough of his stuff, he comes over and actually does something about it. So not a big deal. I'm not too worried about it. The gimmick with this guy is he uses lightning and energy weapons exclusively. So basically, the principle of design for the ship for this fight is make sure that you build it completely out of stone. We'll show how to do that once we destroy this satellite. So one more jump and a fire of our weapons real quick, and we'll show off how to build the ship to take this guy on. It's pretty easy. Like, the boss fight is not that hard, assuming you build the ship out of stone. If you don't take the design measure of building your ship out of stone or cladding it in stone at least, you're going to get wrecked. pretty quickly because to test the cannons and energy weapons the mobile energy satellite does like millions of DPS quite commonly. So if you're actually trying to tank those shots, you're gonna get taken out probably in 2 hits, even if you max out hull and shields, because you can only build up the Xanian level, mind you. But let's go on over this last satellite. Not a big deal. Shooty. Good enough. Alright, so that is 3 of them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch over. I'm going to do it out of this sector. Or, well, I don't need an equipment dock. I just need the whatchamacallit, the shipyard, which I've got in this sector. So switch to crafting sector. We will just switch. It doesn't actually matter. Enter drone, because we're going to build a new ship. And we'll use this new ship to take out the last one. I'm not even going to worry about throwing the turrets off of our main ship onto this one. I think I have enough just generally decent turrets in our inventory that we should be able to boost the Omicron to a reasonable level, so the fight won't take too long, hopefully. I mean, that's the idea. We'll see if that's actually how it works. But I'm just going to move the drone over a bit so we're not right up on this station. This is my sector, so all the stations in here are actually owned by me. This is where I built our turret factory, but there was other demand and stuff, so whatever. I do have a little torpedo or like fighter ship over there, but energy lab boss fighter. Let's go. Found ship. Basically on this, it does not need to be anything too fancy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some trinium, and we're just going to do trinium blank hull, because it does not matter. And we're just going to give ourselves a little bit of space to work with. So something like that. We'll make it a little wider. Why not? We'll do something like that. And then just to make it a little bit bigger, we'll do that. Okay, cool. Good enough. Now, what we're going to do at this point is we're going to throw in a little bit of generator, because we do need to power it, of course. So this 16 gigawatts, that should be more than enough, I think. Battery, so energy container. This does not need to be that large, so we'll scale that down a little bit. But just enough so we can basically warp or make our jump to hyperspace and all that. So that should be good enough for that. Then what we want to do, we're going to need crew quarters, obvious. But we need crew quarters, so we'll do that. Boom. And we can actually make those a little bit bigger. This might end up... Well, honestly, it shouldn't take that much crew, just because most of the blocks are going to be made out of stone, which does not require crew to operate, so the more you know. Anyway, let's go ahead and get some thrusters in here, because this thing is going to be like a truck, meaning it's not going to rotate very fast, and it's not going to be super maneuverable. So if we place some thrust blocks... So we'll put a big one front and back of the ship, and we're going to mount the engines on this thruster at the back, is what the plan is anyway. Do one like that. Then, you know what, we'll just do large thruster on the sides, make it a little longer. Okay, that should be fairly maneuverable. I mean, we could put a gyro array. I just want to be able to aim the weapons very quickly with this ship, is why I'm worried about the maneuverability of it. It does not need to be super maneuverable. It'll work just fine if it's just a brick, and that's all you go for. That's good enough, honestly. But I'm trying to go for something a little bit fancier. So I need yaw, which is left, right. So like that. Do something like that. Just a little bit of extra yaw. Never hurt anyone, right? So, cool. This is not centered, so that will drive me crazy. Okay, do that. And you know what? We'll scale up this thruster too. And for the front, what we're going to do is we're actually going to stick a little directional thruster at the very front, just to give us some stopping power. Good enough. Okay, so we are doing okay. We've got 5 system slots. Cool. Let's stick on some engines now. On these, we just need to make sure that they can be fully encased with stone. Is the only real requirement. So we're gonna put one there. We're gonna put one top and bottom. Should make it reasonably fast. Yeah. A little overkill. Maybe make those ones a little bit smaller. Something like this. Okay. Alright, so that's kind of the basis of our ship. Okay, so makes sense. Pretty basic, pretty basic. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get some stone. Now, I would advise doing Xanian stone for this. That way you don't have to put turret bases outside of the ship as well. And you'll still be able to mount the Xanian level turrets on this stone, right? So that's the idea. But basically, any block that is on the outside needs to be covered in stone. If you don't do this, your ship will get destroyed by the mobile energy lab in one shot, and you will have blocks flying off of your ship left and right. So just bear that in mind. What we're going to do on the top here is we're going to throw like a additional layer that kind of like squares out the craft, just to make sure that everything is indeed covered and protected from the potential energy fire. Like, these are fairly small targets, right? These little tiny thruster faces and whatnot, but if he happens to hit them, it will destroy that block off of the ship, which will then expose a lot larger chunk of the ship, maybe more critical part, blah, blah, blah. And the idea is to not take damage from this guy at all, because there's a way you can do the boss fight without taking any damage. And this is the way, basically. You build the ship out of stone. So let's see if we can't make this kind of work. Try something like that. Okay. That's not quite centered. Okay. So now, what we're going to do, use that, use that. Something kind of like this. And this ship is going to have a fair amount of hull. Or, well, actually, it only has 38k, now that I look at it. Really? Stone generally has quite a bit more. That's fine. We don't have enough room for hyperspace jump anyway, so let's go ahead. We need to expand the battery. We're going to take off that much of the stone. Energy container. Next, we're going to do... I believe you can have engines nested inside like this, and it does not actually matter. They will still contribute to total thrust, even though they're, you know, not technically on the outward face. And we can put in more thrusters, is basically what we're going to fill the rest of this with. And I'm just trying to get a reasonably level surface to build this off of. Oh, that actually worked pretty well. I didn't realize it was going to let me do that. Alright, this part is going to be a bit more fiddly, and that's okay. Okay. So there's a little bit of overhang here and there, but that's alright. I think we'll be okay. We should have enough energy now to at least transport the thing. Or warp it once, you know. It doesn't need a large warp range. It just needs to be able to warp, you know, at least once into the sector we're trying to get to. I should have turned on mirrors. That's what I should have done for this part because it would have gone faster, but that's okay. Because all of this side would have been done at the same time. But whatever. Sometimes it's satisfying to hear the kerchunk of you clicking the stone or whatever brick onto the ship. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Alright, there we go. Let's go ahead and do this. And I mean, this thing's going to be slow AF, but that's alright. Let's go ahead and kit this bad mama out with some guns. What do you say? First, let's throw in some systems. So we are going to want some combat turret systems. So this one, I don't necessarily want to install these permanently, because the plan is to destroy this ship after the fight, or maybe we'll use it as one of the gate stone activators. Like we'll put a Xsotan inside of it. Auto turrets, arbitrary. You know what? Let's just, since we're going to pull the, we're not perma installing any of these, so we'll just do this. Good enough. Now this guy I don't believe shoots. He doesn't shoot torpedoes, so we should be good to do something like this. Repair lasers are not going to help us. 8 out of 18. Okay, we got a lot of space. I mean, this fight should go reasonably fast. Like, 18 slots of turrets is quite a bit for just a... I mean, it's a 5-slot ship, so it's not like it's that massive. So, 2 more slots. Oh, perfect. Can throw in the railgun. What do you know? I could put a salvaging laser on this, just to increase the DPS a hair more, but it's not really worth it, I don't believe. So let's do this stuff, get them all mapped. Boom. Look at us. We've got a shippy poo that can fight this boss. It's gonna be, yeah, send in the brick, right? Or something like that, but whatever. If it works, it works. I just need to get some crew for it, which the crew should only be like 16 guys, I think, if I counted correctly. Let's see. A little bit more because of the gunners, so we can probably get away with 6 gunners. Oh, we need more than that. Okay. I got the gunners and the engineers reversed. Whoops. So probably 6 of these will be enough. Yep. And then with this, we probably can get away with 8. Yep. Okay, cool. Reasonably low, like, I mean, what is the Omicron on this? If we look, so the firepower, 5.05k Omicron, that actually is not terrible. Not terrible. There are no shields on this ship, so yeah, just don't crash into, like, be careful in that sense, but let's go ahead and get over to this sector. We'll go teach this energy lab a lesson and do the boss fight. I was just holding shift there to make sure that when we warp into this next sector, we don't start zoomed up in on the ship like we were. That makes it a little bit difficult to see, but it's fine. All right, this should be the last sector. Well, this should be the sector with the satellite in it, assuming that my marker on the map is accurate, which it should be. I don't think those structures ever despawn. Like, I marked this spot on the map before I booted the game in this time, or this round of playing, But I don't believe, yeah, the structure's still there, so. He's behind an asteroid, but that's okay, actually, because it will put us in, like, reasonable cover when the guy first ports in, because, like, there's asteroids all around us, or what have you. But we are, so as far as our resources, we're at 36 million, not bad. 600k Neo and Trin, almost 700k Trin. And then our Xanians just over 800, Titanium's just over 900, and then Iron we only have like 107k. So at the moment, getting iron in large amounts is a little bit tougher for me. The other ones, generally on a delivery, I get between 20 and 30,000. Now, these are all ships with, like, Xanian tier lasers for the most part on my miners. I also have salvagers that gather. They have Xanian tier lasers as well, as I believe. But let's go ahead and do this boss fight. Mobile Energy Lab, let's go. Kill this satellite, and then his boss should come in. Yep, there he is. All I see is junk. Oh, yeah? Do something, fam. You can't touch me. No, I don't know. Yeah, he does have a reasonably good-sized health pool, so I mean, even at 5k Omicron, this will take a little bit of time just to DPS him down, but I don't believe he flies away. I think he does stay stationary. But this is a large chunk of trinium, so throwing on a Xanian R mining laser and mining this out would not be the worst idea in the world if I wanted to pick up some trinium and neonite. I think there's maybe a touch of Xanian on him, but primarily trinium and neonite. But this is why you build your ship with stone cladding. Now, I could have just put stone cladding on the outside of my, my normal ship, and that would have been just fine as well, but I'd prefer, it's easier, I feel like, to just make a dedicated ship like this, because then when you're done with the fight, you can just delete the ship or whatever and forget about it, and you don't have to worry about changing the design of your main ship. Granted, I guess if you template the ship before you start and after, then you could just swap with a template fairly easily. It'd be one button push, but I like having a dedicated ship. I'm going to need some dedicated ships here in a minute anyway, just to put all the various Xsotan artifacts into, so we can open up the barrier portal, which is the next step after we defeat this guy. So I think what I'm probably going to do, I need to design, like, a ship template for the barrier opening, or like barrier artifact holders is basically what they are, because all they're going to be is sit by an asteroid with a Xsotan artifact installed permanently, so they only need to be one slot. They don't need anything fancy. But I do need them to be able to warp into the asteroid sector, since I don't have a shipyard built there, and I don't really plan on building a shipyard there, because when you open the barrier, a bunch of Xsotan come out and they aggro on you, so they'll destroy your station, so it's not worth spending the 30 million or whatever to build the station just to get it destroyed when you open the portal. But there we go. Mobile Energy Lab. What? We got him taken down. Let's go pick up our loot. A bunch of money, some turrets, it looks like. There's the Xsotan is the purple, but there is at least an orange system or turret. It looks like it's a turret, chain gun probably. Ooh, railgun, even better. Okay, I see that. There's a red one back here, which was an exotic triple bursting pulse gun. Okay, cool. And then we got a dual lightning. So I would think that the turrets off of this guy should be reasonably good, because that's kind of his gimmick, is that he has amazing weapons that are way stronger than anything you can buy in this region of space, but I don't know if that's actually the case. Let's take a look. One of our ships, I think it's our trader ship number 3, finished a route. Oh, Salvager has a delivery, and yeah, Trader 3 finished. So let's go ahead. We'll just give Trader 3 a new trade route real quick. So I have my trade ships all put in a different faction just so they don't overlap on the contracts, meaning like all of them can do decently good tier contracts as opposed to just one of them, or like it doesn't exhaust the supply as you go. Hopefully that made sense. We'll go ahead and fly this ship back into our home base sector, more or less. I'm going to delete the declaration of war from the energy lab because I could give two shits, basically. Doesn't matter. We realistically will never encounter that faction again unless we happen to warp into a hidden mass sector that has one of their satellites, or if we decide to destroy 4 of the satellites after finding 4 more of those satellites and fighting the boss again. I don't really plan on doing either of those things, so yeah, I'm not too worried. What I'm going to do is warp this back into our base sector. Once there is a shipyard, so I'll be able to adjust the template. So what I'm going to do now is basically redesign this ship into something that can be used or duplicated and used to open up the Xsotan crossing for us. Basically, these ships are going to be one-time use. Like I'm just going to leave them behind in the portal sector and let them get destroyed. That's generally how I do the barrier crossing, because once you cross the barrier, you just stay over there long enough to get 50 Avorion, so you can put on an Avorion warp core block of smallest size, so you can warp back across rifts so you can warp across rifts in space-time, which is all the barrier is. So pretty easy. Then you don't have to worry about transporting 8 ships. You don't have to build 8 ships that are good as far as Omicron and defensive and combat capabilities are concerned. So like you can save a lot of resource costs, a lot of turret costs, a lot of like everything costs by doing it this way. So that's the plan. We'll see how effective it actually is, because yeah, you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull out these systems because we do not need them. We're going to just jump into the build menu. So what I'm going to do, I am just going to save this template real quick as energy lab boss fighter Mark O. That's fine. And then we're going to go in, I believe I saved in beta ships. Yeah, I did. Apply design, just a trinium block, starter block for a ship. And we can build these out of trinium, I guess. These I will do some trinium armor on, as opposed to just basic hull, so they have a little bit extra hit point capability. So we're going to do something like that. We're going to turn on the X mirrors. We're going to, I don't know, maybe like this wide. Put that one like that, and then we'll taper in this section, so it's maybe like that. Then what we can do, we go in, we can actually pick like a corner block, or I think this is the corner that I actually like, and we rotate it this way. Maybe not. We could do it with an edge, I suppose. Then we just need to bring that in. Sure, we'll do something like that. That'll look weird, so we're not going to mess with that. Okay, turn the mirrors off for a minute. Let's go ahead and put some engines on this. Building it out of trinium will keep our costs a bit lower, but I do have more Xanian than trinium. So I think I'm going to try to split the materials in this ship. So some of it will be trinium, some of it will be Xanian. So like the engines, I'm going to do trinium, I think, and then we'll maybe do like generators and batteries and stuff out of Xanian, like more of the functional blocks, if that makes sense. So we'll do that. That should be decent. I mean, we could realistically throw in a third row like this would maybe make sense, so we'll do that. Thrusters, we definitely want some thrust capability on these. So what I'm wanting to do for that is I kind of like want to dedicate thrust block sections if I can. And actually the way to do this is with the mirrors, so they end up in the same spot. If I build them like this though, I think go 3 high like that, and then what I could do is put one slightly back from the center. We'll make it a little bit shorter, even. Go 3 tall. And then what we're going to do, turn off the mirrors for a moment. We're going to throw a directional thruster up at the front, which that is facing the correct direction. I do want to scale it so it's a bit wider. You know what? I'm okay with that, like, little bit of gap that's right there. That's fine. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Something like that. That should work. I gotta even... I don't really want to do inertial dampeners. Just because... Yeah. I don't have a lot of iron either. Let's go ahead and clad some of this stuff and see where we're at on... that is a way big armor block that we do not need. Does not need to be thick armor, just something though. Okay. Yeah. That'll kind of work. Kinda, sorta. Let's go ahead and throw in the generator and battery. How much is that? 16? We only need 5. So really I could scale that down a little bit. Let's do something like that. Same size energy container should give us more than enough to make the jump. Cool. We could throw in a warp core. Just to give us some extra sectors of jump. That's not even worth it. No, forget that. I guess we could give them some shields. Would maybe make sense. That's 20k per brick. How it's set right now. What if we just do a large shield generator in the middle? Something like that. 72k. 139. Once we clad everything, it'll maybe be okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and throw in our crew quarters. 54 should be more than enough room. And then we'll just clad this stuff with armor. Do I want to put a big chunk of armor like that? Not really. Let's go ahead and put in a couple more thrusters. Primarily, I want directional thrusters facing forward. Yep, just like that. So I can increase the decel of our ship a bit more. Something like that. 89, 130. Our rotation's actually not bad. Or our maneuverability, right? Or that metric is not terrible at the moment. Let's see. 5 those. From there... Oh, we do need more energy now. Shoot. Okay. That's fine. We have the space, realistically. 7.4. It's only a trickle more than what we actually need, though. Put it down like that. Yeah, that's more than enough. I mean, it's excess, but that might be a smart way to go about this. I'm just going to shrink this into a single block so I can finish cladding the rest of the ship and armor, and I think we're going to call it good. Because it pretty much is. I mean, yeah, we could make it look a little bit cleaner and whatnot, but really these ships are going to get destroyed pretty much immediately, or like right after the portal to cross the barrier opens. Like, these are going to get blown to pieces. So, I'm not too worried about how good they look. Because I don't even really plan on reconstructing them. Like, I'm just going to get the systems out of them and that's it. But, okay. I think that'll kind of work. We need to throw on a Xanian turret base, however. just so we can stick on some guns, because these ships do need like one gun each is enough, it looks like, to make the red go away. You don't want them to be headhuntable, is basically what that is about. But let's go ahead, get some crew. So I think it was this guy that had the... doesn't have engineers. I wanted to have all three types, so shipyard is the one. Let's go to the shipyard. Pick up the crew, recrew this, because now that we're not running with stone blocks on our ship, yeah, we actually like need some additional crew to run the ship, which is fine, not a big deal. We're gonna go ahead and re-automate trader number 2. Keep our money coming in. 1.1. 1.1 it is. That's fine, however, because it gives time for our shields to charge up and all that. Cool. So, we need one of those. Like 3 of these. Easy enough. Okay. So that kind of works. I mean, it's an ugly ship, to say the least, but it'll get the job done, which is really all I'm looking for. So, here is one of our little boats. I am just going to hop in the build menu and save this as a template. Artifact ship. Here we go. So that's what this is going to be used for. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting in our artifacts. So I need artifact number 1 in this guy. Cool. Hop out into our droney boy. We're just going to fly right on over by the dock and build a copy of that ship right here. Xsotan 2. Throw in Xsotan artifact number 2. And we do need to throw a turret on. So, opening this guy up, DPS per slot. It is actually this heavy devastator cannon. Don't really want to put that, so we're going to throw this teeny tiny little Tesla turret instead. Get him some crew. Because basically the way this works is you need to have a ship for each artifact. So you need 8 total ships in order to open up the Xsotan portal to cross the barrier. This, I think it's 6. 7. So that's ship 2 done. Here. It doesn't necessarily matter. Eventually we're going to have to fly. Unless I want to put captains in all these ships, which I don't really, because it's just a waste of captain, basically. But I'm going to have to fly each of these individually into position in the asteroid sector, so we'll do that in a minute. I just figure while I'm here, let's go ahead and build as many of these as possible. So it doesn't take too long. Xsotan 3... out, throw on a turret. I mean, it really does not, like, this 300 DPS is enough to make it acceptable to fly in this region of space. So that's all you need. About 300 DPS with this design, and you're good to go. So it's 10. No, it was 12. And this was 7. And 1. And I'm not even going to bother mapping the turret. It doesn't, like, it honestly does not matter. As I will probably say, a lot of this, yeah, is just, ooh, I need Oganite now. Shoot, that is not going to work. That is not going to work. Okay. So how many do I have? This might be easier to see. So I have 1, 2 ships, 3 ships. I have 3 ships, 4 ships if I include the defender that I've got in here. Okay, 5 including my main ship. So I guess what I need to do is let's bring in the scout ships that I have. Player menu. These guys, the explorers. Recall the explorer, yes please, recall. And then I want to say that... Was my scout ship not with him? No, he was. Okay. What I want to do now is hop out into this menu. I'm going to take Explorer 1. You're going to travel down to here. Quick speed. And scout ship. You're also going to travel. Oh, dang it. I hate when that happens. Travel down here. Fast speed, 6 minutes. Good enough. I can move my main ship in a similar fashion with the travel command to this point. Oh, if I push the button the right way. Lol. Okay. So that gives us 3, 6, so we need 2 more ships. Let's take a look at our fleet again. So, I mean, as far as which one to take, it's not necessarily obvious. Like, I've got a salvager and a miner up here. I need 2 more ships, is basically what I need. So, if I bring back my miners... So these 2 miners are on the same mission, right? So I could recall the miners and do that, I guess. Or one set of them, at least. Minus 160, 82. Is that... I thought it showed where your ships were inside of the area of influence now. That's fine. I believe it is number 1. So 3 and 4 are right there. Okay, so it's 3 and 4 that we need to recall. So recall ship, yes, I know. Wasteful. Take. Cool. Got that. Those guys should be done now. Back in their system. Yep, they are. So these will be good enough. I mean, like, it sucks because these ships are going to get destroyed, so I'm going to have to rebuild them, but that's fine. So those guys are now moving into position as well. So let's start flying over our 3 ships right here. So this guy has artifact number 1 inside. Perfect. We are going to take him right on down to here. And I'm pretty sure our main ship has one of the artifacts inside of it already. And I believe it is artifact number 2, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 2 or 3. It might actually have a couple of them, whatever. So we can pick whichever artifact and not put that in one of these other ships that we're warping to this sector. Shouldn't be too bad, though. I mean, if I really wanted to speed this up, I could even throw on, like, a warp drive system, but it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. Okay, so our main ship has reached the asteroid sector. That is good. jumps. Easy enough. I wish I could get these ships to move without a captain. Like, I don't believe I can tell this guy, yeah, you need a captain in order to do those commands. Which, there's captains in my base sector right there that I could put on those ships, but I don't want to spend $250,000, 400,000, 500,000 on a captain just for them to get, you know, destroyed, because that's basically what's going to happen. I guess what's going to happen... So I built these 3 ships, right? And they are effectively going to be useless after this skirmish or what have you. So I guess we could convert them into, like, maybe 2 miners and a salvager, or 2 salvagers and a miner, or something like that. So this is artifact number 1. So where is asteroid 1? Asteroid 1 should be this guy. So we're just going to go ahead and position him so he's ready to rock and roll. I do want to just hop into our main ship real quick and take a peek and see what asteroid or Xsotan artifacts he's got. There we go. This guy is in position. Perfect. This one has artifact 3 is the one that this guy has. So we will put him next to asteroid 3. That means our Xsotan 3 is actually going to get Xsotan artifact 4. So I'm just going to throw this guy close-ish, not directly next. So you can tell when they're in range because there will be a red light that turns on the asteroid. So see that red light? That means we're in range with this ship. I don't actually want to be in range with this ship because I want this to be the last one that gets put in position. So what we are going to do is we're going to switch to scout ship, enter that ship, and scout ship doesn't actually have a Xsotan on him. What is the hyperspace one? Jump range is number 8, so we could put that in the place of one of these. Which one is actually better? So we'll pull that one out. Xsotan number 8, it is. So he needs to be right here. Move him into position. Another set of ships just came in. Whoop. Alright, good enough. So, scout ship's in position. We need explorer number 1. He's got Xsotan number 3 in him, but that's not going to be sufficient for this. So what I'm going to do is pull out the transporter software because that really does not matter. So what we'll do is we'll throw in Xsotan artifact number 7, I guess. These don't have to, like, I don't need the bonus. I just need them in the system, so we're not going to perma install them. So 7... is that 7 right there? No. That's 7. That's 8. Scout ship. Oh, that's the miner. Okay. You know what? We're going to put number 6 in this one. And we'll put 7 in miner 4 since miner 4 is already by that asteroid. And it doesn't matter. We're just going to leave these ships next to the asteroids. We have to fly over the remaining couple ships anyway by hand. So, not a big deal. There we are. This one is in position. Swap over to the miner. Number 7 is right here, so we'll just eke him in a bit closer. And we need to put in artifact number 7. He actually has an empty slot. Cool. There should be miner number 3. Yep, there sure is. And this one can be number 5. Should have put him as 4. That's 5. That's fine. Good enough. So we need 2 more shippies. 1 for Artifact 4, 1 for Artifact 2. We'll be golden. So there's that. Now what we need to do is switch to Crafting Sector, Xsotan 2, swap. Easy enough. It just takes a little bit because you're maneuvering 8 different ships in position. If I had captains on these Xsotan ships, as opposed to not having captains on them, I would have been able to do the warp command to get them to travel, or the travel command, I guess is what it's called. But same thing, it basically just moves them into a target sector or whatever automatically, which is quite useful. Oh, Trader 3 is done. I would like to keep our money coming in while we're kind of faffing around. 2.5, good enough. That is a juicy score. I will take. Let's go. So I need 2 more ships. Did I send the Station Defender? I did not. I kind of want to leave that here, though, because if pirates happen to attack my stations, I do want something in this sector to protect them, because I don't want to lose my stations. They're too expensive for me to... Yeah. So that's fine. We have to fly 2 ships, but not a big deal. Goes reasonably fast. Unless you run out of battery power like me. Oh well. That's fine. Alright, sweet. We're getting closer. I think it's 2 or 3 more jumps, something like that. Not too bad either way. I am quite excited about getting across the barrier, because then we'll have access to all the materials in the game. And the main motivator for that, I guess, since the implementation of building knowledge, you're limited on your ship size based off of how much building knowledge you have. So until you reach Avorion and get Avorion build knowledge, you won't be able to build full-size ships and all that good stuff. So I'm used to being able to build ships up to whatever size I want, because that's how the game used to be, and it's no longer that way. So getting to Avorion will feel nice, just because we will then be able to build ships like we used to, because we have access to all the building knowledge. In addition, Avorion's quite a useful resource. It's better output and weight-wise than everything else in the game, blah, blah, blah. Warp Core is obviously useful from Avorion in particular, because it'll allow you to jump across rifts in space and time. So that's quite useful. We could then go through and start upgrading our fleet with a single spec of Avorion hyperspace core, just so they all can go across rifts in space-time. That will make their travel commands a lot faster, and potentially make it easier for them to just do their regular commands anyway. So this guy does have artifact number 2, which is right back here. Boo, boo, boo. Alright. Artifact 2 in position. So that's artifact slot 4 and artifact slot 3. So slot 3 is going to be filled by our main ship. Slot 4 is what we're going to fill with the last Xsotan ship that we've got in this this sector. So unfortunately, I was not able to build a fresh 8 ships in order to do this, because I have too large of a fleet. Too many trading ships, too many salvagers, miners, all that good stuff. Normally it's not a problem because the founding cost is just Sanian, but I have hit the point where I need to spend Oganite in order to add more ships to my fleet. Since I can't actually gather Oganite until I cross the barrier, that's an issue. We're about to cross now, but as you can see these green dots up here, I'm pretty sure that's this faction that I'm allied with, so I'm hoping what that means is, once we cross the barrier, we're gonna be able to go get Oganite building knowledge right out of the gate, because there will be a shipyard with the faction we're allied with on the other side of the barrier, so it'll be an Oganite space. That's the idea. I don't know if that's actually how it's gonna work. If not, that's fine. Not a big deal. But yeah, it'd be good if it did work that way. Moving the last ship into position. So this guy, even though he's named Xsotan 3, he's actually going to have Xsotan Artifact 4, because that's the slot that we need filled. So there you go, buddy. You get a Xsotan Artifact 4. It's legendary. Take good care while you're traveling now. Yeah, I probably boosted too soon. Yep, I did. What a scrub lord. Oh well. I mean, in a certain extent, it's fine that it takes a little extra time to get here, because it allows our factories or our stations and such to generate us more money. Um, so that's a good thing, I suppose. So the only thing I'm not super thrilled about is the fact that my scout ship, explorer ship, and miner 3 and 4 ships are all going to get destroyed. Like, basically, every ship in this sector is going to get destroyed except for my primary ship. So, like, that's not ideal. But all of them should have valid reconstruction tokens, or if they don't, they shouldn't cost that much to repair, I don't think. Um, Asteroid 4 is just behind this, I guess. We'll set up Trader 2 in just a moment. No, don't crash into him, please. Thank you. Trader number 2. Let's go ahead and get him back on a route. What you got for... Ooh, 3 million? Okay, yes, please. I mean, it's 6.4 startup cost, so, I mean, you're making over 50% off of that, trader. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's swap into our main ship. Alright. We are basically ready to do this thing. All we gotta do is maneuver this shippy poo into position. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna throw on our PDC. I don't really plan on fighting these Xsotan. I plan on just flying through the portal, more or less. So let's go ahead and open it. We'll turn on our guns. Why not? There we go. So this is what happens when you put the ships in, and then basically Xsotan start pouring out. I think you have to stay in for a minute. Or they only maybe attack you if you actually attack them. I don't actually know. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. They're not shooting at us, so cool. Oh, pirates are attacking, though. But that's fine. Assuming our ships don't engage, we'll be fine. So, cool. We made it across the barrier. How awesome is that? Let's actually move. So, What am I doing? Let's just bring these guys across with us, yeah? Like, does that make sense, I guess? Bring over the Explorer scout ship. Yeah, like, having the scout ship and Explorer and stuff honestly would be quite handy. Just because then we'd be able to kind of map these out without needing to jump to all the sectors ourselves, which would be great. And having the mining ships over on this side means they'll be able to pick up some Ogonite for us, in addition to the Xanian and Trinium they were already getting. So our mining ships are here now. Cool. Fly them over there, just so they're out of the way. Strategy mode. Woo. It is kind of useful sometimes. When you have a lot of stuff in one sector, it's useful, that's for sure. So here is our scout ship, which this guy I actually want to start scouting. So I'm going to send this dude out over on this side. Ooh, 20% ambush probability, eh? Okay, that's a little terrifying. What just happened? Stop. Don't jump anywhere, please. Did our Explorer make it through? There he is. Okay. Let's maybe try doing it with the Explorer and the scout ship in a group. And really, this is the side that I want to look at anyhow. Oh, this guy's fine to do that on his own. Alright, fine. What if I move him to this side? Is he still fine? He is still fine. Okay, cool. Go for it, Explorer. Scout ship. Can you handle this area? A little bit easier, I suppose. Sure. Get those guys out scouting to begin with. And then what I'm going to do with my main ship... Close out of that. We're going to fly into this sector. And just see what's here. I basically am looking for an asteroid field to set as... Or like... I want to find a factions sector with a shipyard in it. And that's where I want to set as the jump out point for our miners. If at all possible. Just because then, when they return from their mission, I can send them back in. They can get repairs, upgrades, whatever. Stuff for it. So... I need to get Ogonite build knowledge, that's fine. I'm also curious to see what faction this is. It is the faction we're allied with, and wouldn't you know it? There's a building yard right here. Building knowledge. Lol, we can buy it right now. How awesome is that? Okay. Oh, I have to be docked? What a joker. Okay, fine. Miner 3 and 4 can both move into this sector for me, please. Thank you. And I'm gonna move over to this little guy right here. I am going to check out the equipment dock and just see if we can pick up some of Ogonite tier mining lasers, as that will allow us to actually gather Avorion if we come across an asteroid of it. I want to get our mining ship set up going as soon as possible as well, just because then we are going to start gathering the Ogonite and everything automatically right out the gate, which is honestly quite a good position to be in. Normally it takes me quite a while to get any sort of automatic mining or harvesting of Ogonite and Avorion set up, so having 2 automated ships right out the gate across the barrier is gonna be a little bit better than I normally start. Cool. I'm glad I didn't shoot at the Xsotan. We didn't lose any ships, as far as I can tell. Yeah, they're all right there, so cool. We are docked now. Let's buy the building knowledge for Ogonite. Ooh, awesome. Look at us. What winners? Not really. Pretty easy. But we now have Oganite building knowledge. What? 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 Awesome. Okay. Let's look. The equipment dock, of course, is on the opposite side of the world. But let's look at their turrets. Trinium and Xanium mining, or tier turrets. That's it, eh? Lame. Okay. That's fine, though. I'm going to warp out to this sector because it does not appear to be on the warp lanes. So I'm thinking that maybe this will be a asteroid sector that we can stick our miners in. Now, I want to do the mining missions if at all possible. Like, I guess I could look at that and just see what they're estimating on resource generation if I do it right at the barrier crossing right here. But I want to see if I can't get it set up so those miners are picking up a little bit of Oganite in addition to the Xanian and Trinium that they used to be gathering for us. Just because that's kind of what's near the barrier. So this is a asteroid sector. So like there's a chunk of Oganite sitting right there. I'm going to just go pick this up real quick. Because I need a little bit of Oganite to upgrade our turret blocks to Oganite tiers. That way when we get Oganite tier turrets, we can actually mount them on the ship. And you can gather it with Xanian lasers. You don't need Oganite tier lasers to gather Oganite. But you do need Oganite tier lasers to gather Avorion. So we want to gather this up so we can be able to place an Oganite mining laser. Then we just need to find an Oganite tier mining laser. With that being said, since we almost have 35 million credits at the moment, we could, in theory, build our own turret factory and build our own mining lasers if we really wanted to. It's way more expensive to do it that way, however, so I think I might just try to find them. Like, you should be able to find Oganite lasers, just while exploring the sectors on the other side of the barrier. There is a shipyard in here as well, funny enough. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look and see. I think this is the one we want to set the command off of. And if I put it like right here, LD Miner 3, so it has a 6% chance of ambush without being in safe mode. If I tick on safe mode, then it's 0%, but 6% is pretty low. This will get us mostly Xanian, but it will get us a tiny bit of Oganite. Can I move this to a better region? That's not a better region. This side? Not a better region. So I think that honestly is kind of, this is the spot right here. One over like that. With Miner 3, yeah. You know what? We'll just do it like that. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it might be better to send the command with Miner 3 instead of Miner 4. Yeah, because then we get the longer duration. There we go. That's more what I'm looking at. We could put that in save. Oh, that just chunks us so bad on how much we actually get. If I set it to like, if I do it at 2 hours, it's less than 5%. If I do it at 4 hours, it's 9. 3.5 is 8. Like, they're likely to get it at 11%. I mean, that's not super likely, but it's kind of like likely enough. So what if we do it this way? If we set it 3 hours in this sector, they get a way more resources this side for whatever reason. You know what? We'll do it at 4 hours. Call it good. Where do we want to go next? I kind of want to... Like, I have my scout ships here, obviously, so they're going to find stuff for us and mark it on the map. What is this? We got... Oh, Trader 3 finishes. Awesome. probably be something better on that side too. 8, I think, is the best we're gonna find. So we've got a couple of just like dead ships basically that aren't doing much at the moment. We could think about trying to do something with. I wouldn't mind getting to this sector, so let's actually fly up here and see what's in this piece of space. I know it'll get uncovered by our scout ship or whatever, whichever one's doing that region of space, but I am just going to warp there myself. It's not a big deal. Doesn't take long. I wish we could do it in one jump, however. Alrighty. Let's see what they got in this sector. So we do need to kind of keep pushing inwards towards the middle of the galaxy at this point. Just so, like, we don't have to go super far in. We just need to go far enough in that we start encountering Avorion asteroids so we know at what level or what depth that starts happening at. So once we do get an Oganite mining laser, we can actually harvest the resource or like know where to go to harvest it. Hopefully that makes sense. Because at this point, the barrier crossing point is no longer active. We cannot actually get the ships that are on the inside of the barrier out at this point, or bring any new ships that are outside the barrier in. So we need to go gather the Avorion to put on these ships in order to change that. So there is an asteroid that's claimable right here, so I am just going to take a peeky peek at this. So what is the best kind of mine I can put? Water, but I'm not building a water mine. That's a waste. Copper is still positive. I guess we'll build a copper mine. Why not? I don't think I actually have a copper mine yet either, so... I am going to swap, or well, I might take a look with the mining system and see. So we're going to found copper mine 1. Not going to be super efficient, but that's okay. We're just going to use our basic coal, not that one. It is this one. This is the one I like. Yeah. Use this one. Ooh, really? Okay. Just scale it up a little bit. There we go. Give it 20 million. Oh, how about that? This thing is massive. Okay, so hire crew. It needs 1 and 37. Oh, dang. We can shrink this box. We don't need that big of a cargo bay. It scales everything when you do the scaling feature, so that's why that is like that. It's not the end of the world. We will just update it real quick. We'll do it in Trinium instead. So Trinium crew quarters. 106 is way more than enough. And then on the cargo bay, we actually do want a few thousand. Storage, so 12,000. It's probably enough, honestly. Probably enough. Sure. Trade goods. Don't buy goods, actively sell. We're going to set the base price up at 3. We need to hire crew. So we're going to hire our one little guy. We're going to hire 15 of these dudes. This does need a generator block, though. Almost forgot. There we go. Now he's good to go. Slowly but surely we'll push out these asteroids. Not a big deal. The docks on this are actually fairly good size since the template was scaled up as opposed to the ship being built by hand, as is normally the case. So they should have a decent amount of push on them, I would think. But okay, good enough. Let's take a look. I did want to throw in our mining system. I thought I had a red mining system. I must have used that to get one of the artifacts. That's fine. Because these will only do up to Xanian unless I perma-install. Aw, shame. That's a shame. Let's throw back in our radar then. Lady has finished a trade contract. You, Mill. I think they are in this area. Gold might... No, gold's not that great either. There we go. Drills. Or fusion generators, whatever. Okay. Let's go ahead and actually just take the warp gate down, I suppose. That's the south gate. That's the one we're looking for. Because I want to check that equipment dock. I basically am kind of waiting until I get Oganite lasers before I start pushing in towards the middle. Because even if I find Avorion at this point, I'm not going to be able to mine it. So it's kind of like, might as well get the equipment I'm going to need before doing too much. Besides, that gives time for my scout ships to finish doing what they're doing. And I may find another point to go check out, or like point of interest or something. I don't know. Because there is stuff to go do on the inside of the barrier. Like, there's different bosses and stuff like that. Lots of pirates, lots of Xsotan. So you can do quite a bit of things. What is this? Oh, those are our ships. Mining. Oh, look at them go. I forgot that one of them is actually like a mining carrier. Like, there's fighters on that ship. But anyway, not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and refine the ore that we've got in our hold, because we do have some, whatchamacallit, the Oganite. We have Oganite in our inventory. We need to refine it, though. I wouldn't mind going and dealing with those pirates, just because they might drop something decent. Give me that Oganite. Let's go. Let's help him. Oh, they're gonna be gone before we get there. Oh well. We can maybe pick up some goodies nonetheless. But since we got the increase in system slot capability now, since we have Oganite build knowledge, we could in fact improve our ship design quite a bit to make it more maneuverable, because now we've got the system capacity or whatever to add the additional thrusters that we're lacking. And that honestly would not be a bad thing to do, just because a more maneuverable ship or a more effective ship, whatever, will make combat a lot easier to affect. But let's go ahead. What you got for me, equipment dock? They haven't reset yet. Is there anything decent on their system? Like, this gold transporter is kind of attractive, but not really. I mean, really, I want The Ogonite tier lasers is what I'm looking for. So I did get one of my scout ships back, so this is kind of what they found up here. So accelerator factories and stuff, that's kind of good to know about. Scout ship. Let me just do it this way. Move them in like that. So his warp should be pretty quick. I'm going to have him scout the next like chunk of squares above. That's kind of the idea. Explorer just came back too. So this is all hidden mass stuff. Explorer 1. Go on up there and he can scout as well. One six. Okay, this guy's in position. Him do right here. Ooh, 16%. Okay, just do that. That's fine. The Explorer ship is like superior weaponry and design to the Scout ship. I need to go through and update the template on the Scout ship and update its guns and stuff in order to fix that. Like percent ambush chance or whatever. But that's okay. It's good enough. But yeah, not terrible. I mean, getting up and scouting the rest of this faction would be useful, because they may have another equipment dock up farther, which would be good to know about. Couple minutes before that resets. So Explorer 1 arrived where it was supposed to. Cool. Hopefully there's, I don't know, a lot of rifts right here for being just over the barrier. That's why we really need to get Avorion as soon as possible so we can actually like push in. Now, once you have Avorion, you can warp across those rifts, so they're not as big of a deal. But until that point, you're kind of trapped by them to a certain extent. Like if there's not a hyper gate going across them, you're kind of SOL. You're gonna have to find a way around it if you can. But inside the barrier, there's not usually a way around rifts. You have to be able to jump over them because they figure that you have Avorion already since you're inside the barrier. I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to take the main ship through this warp gate right here and see kind of what's out on that side once the shop resets. So that should be, what is that, east or southeast? So it's either this gate, it's probably this gate right there. Just fly over to the trade post, or equipment dock, whatever. We're gonna be. Hopefully, there will be something there for us to buy, and I'm hoping it will be an Ogonite R mining laser. That's what I'm hoping for, and it'd be even better if there were a couple of them. But we'll see what we get. All right. What you got, my friend? Ooh, it does have a gold combat. That's actually pretty good. Blue fighter turret stuff is pretty good. Gold tractor beam I'll pick up. I think I have one already, but having an extra one is not bad. So these are still just Xanian and Trinium turrets, which is really disappointing. Like, they're decent tier. Like 1,000 DPS purifying laser is not bad, but I don't need this stuff. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. 2 slot 320, not amazing. Are there any fighters that are Ogonite? There are not. So okay, I'm taking that to indicate that we need to push in deeper in order to get Ogonite stuff. So that is North Gate, which will take us up that way. We don't want to go that way. We want to go like southeast. That's the one. All right, let's fly down there. Take this gate. It'll just save us a bit of time. And who knows, this may actually link us into another sector straight with another equipment dock. Most likely what the problem is that equipment dock, this sector that we're in is like basically right on the edge of the barrier, right? Even though it's on the inside, technically speaking, the tech level of that equipment dock is probably still rendering as if it was on the outside of the barrier. So it's only going to ever show Xanian tier turrets, which is unfortunate, mainly because you would think, you know, hey, I found an equipment dock inside the barrier, I can get some Ogonite lasers, but that is not going to be the case with this one. So we're going to go see if we can find another equipment dock that hopefully has some Ogonite mining lasers so we can pick up some Avorion and kind of keep on progressing through. But not a big deal. We've done quite a bit in the first hour and a half of the stream. Like, we got across the barrier, beat the mobile energy lab boss, did a bunch of different stuff, so quite fun. Lol, another faction's attacking them, huh? Carrier Dreadnought. That looks a little bit terrifying. Let's actually warp in. I'm assuming that these guys are maybe close by. Yeah, the allied faction just jumped in all their stuff. That's funny. We probably could get some rep for defending them since we are allies, but that's alright. I'm not too worried about it. I don't want to piss off the other faction because it's obvious that they're inside the barrier. I'm going to want to become their ally as well, or at least be in good enough standing with them to be able to buy equipment from them. There is an equipment dock here. Oh, I forgot to mark this with our star so I know what's here. But this is an equipment dock as well. This one does have an Ogonite R mining laser. Awesome. I will buy that from you, good sir. I do need to re-up LD Trader 3. We'll do that in a minute. Fly over here. Ooh, 2.4 mil. Okay. Yeah, we should have plenty of credits to buy whatever we need at this point in the game. Alrighty. So those are pretty much worthless, but the art driller... Oh, whoops. I just bought stuff that I probably didn't want. Oh well. Lag spike. Alright, fine. Ooh, 2 slot for almost 600. That actually is not bad. 2 slot for almost 5. Also not terrible. 3 slot for 8. Not the best, but not the worst. Then there's Oganite tier Tesla fighters, but those aren't going to help us. So, okay, we got an Oganite mining laser, everybody. We got an Oganite mining laser. So let's go ahead and upgrade our turret. Base. Transform block. This. And this. And this. Now we can mount Oganite turrets as we wish. So this is our Delver, our Driller. Do I just have the 2 unarmed turrets? I cannot recall. That's fine. Let's go material, which should put our Oganite at the top. It did. Four slots. Okay. That's a beefy laser right there. But I am A-okay with that. So there we go. We got our Oganite mining laser. Awesome, awesome. And there is a Xanian, our mining laser. But not a big deal. That one will help us when we're mining Oganite. It won't when we're mining Avorion, but until we get an extra Oganite laser, that is the best we can do. But awesome. Now we are geared up. We can go get some Avorion, which is fantastic. So we're going to go see if we can't find an Avorion asteroid somewhere and get just a little chunk of Avorion refined up, put a block of Avorion hyperspace core on our ship so we can warp across barriers or rifts in space and time. Blah, blah, blah. Same thing. And yeah, should be good. I'm going to warp over to this bit. There seems to be a fair amount of asteroids right here, so assuming we are deep enough for Avorion to spawn, which I believe Avorion spawns, like, you don't have to necessarily go any specific depth inside of the barrier. You just actually have to be in the barrier, like across the barrier. Or it maybe used to be that way. I don't know if it still is, but we'll look at this asteroid field, see if we see something. It's going to be red. I mean, that's the color. There is some Oganite, which we don't really have much of, so we will pick up the Oganite we see as well. Might as well, yeah. We will be getting some Oganite in a trickle type of fashion from our automated miners that we've got, so miner 3 and 4. But mining a little bit by hand like this is not going to hurt us in any way. It's a few thousand here or there, but a few thousand builds up over time. Eventually we'll be able to slap some Oganite armor on some ships if we want to, potentially. Realistically, I want this mainly so I can cover founding costs for ships. So like that little asteroid right there that we mined will pay for 3 additional ships, assuming the founding cost stays Oganite. It will eventually tick up to Avorion, so we do need Avorion to build more ships eventually too. I think you get 5 at each tier of resources, if I'm not mistaken. So like we should be able to get to 25 fleet size before we have to start paying Avorion for more ships, but I could be wrong on that. I don't actually know. Or it's changed so many times and probably has changed recently that I can't tell you with utmost certainty what the number is, but it's fine. Get us some Oganite. There are a few asteroids in here, which is good. I've not really seen any Avorion though, so we probably do need to push in a little bit deeper, which is not a problem. I just didn't want to pass over these asteroids while they're here because they are kind of few and far between. It's not like they're non-existent. It's just there's way more Xanian and Trinian than Oganite in these sectors at this point. Go one more safe sector, then we'll probably have to start pushing into empty space. Which should be reasonably safe. I mean, encountering Xsotan is not necessarily a bad thing. You just can't shoot at them and they will leave you alone. And by shoot at them, I just mean you can't fire your weapons at all. Like, if you fire any weapons or have fighters out, they will come and attack you. But that's easy to avoid. Now, if it's pirates, they will attack you on sight. So that's a little different, but not a big deal. So we are in this sector. Yeah, we're going to just start pushing out this way, I think. Just start pushing. There might be another faction up this way as well, is the other reason for doing this. We are ultimately going to need to build our own turret factory in towards the center of the galaxy in order to get good tier combat turrets for sure, but also even just to get decent Avorion mining turrets. You, generally speaking, want to have your own turret factory to build those, just because it's very rare for the equipment docks that a faction owns to have good tier lasers, if they have them at all, that is. And yeah, so just bear that in mind. So that's pretty much all unaccessible space. Let's move this guy like right there. And then we're going to have him scout out the factions that are right here. There's a lot of unidentified faction space around us, or around that sector. Salvager 1. Cool. Bunch of systems and stuff. I don't know how useful any of that is, but it's something, yeah. Let's maybe try... We'll try this one. Maybe we'll get lucky and hit a sector that has Avorion in it and no Xsotans. I don't really want to have to fight anyone to harvest the material, which should be achievable. Scout ship finished. Cool. Let's also travel this guy down to here. Assuming I can get the travel command to work. There we go. And we'll put them back into a formation. They used to be in a squad together, which lowers the chance of, or probability of ambush. So putting them back into a squad together now at this point is probably making a lot of sense, because we're going to start doing more hidden mass sector exploration as opposed to just faction space. But yeah, not a big deal. Alright, this sector must have a lot of stuff in it, which hopefully is indicative of an asteroid sector. Which it is, but there's also Pyratos. Alright. You're gonna bother me now. Shoot. Not ideal. Let's just see if we can find some Avorion around. Like, I'm just gonna fly around and see. Because I do not need a lot to be able to cross rifts. I just need 50. I believe is the smallest size you can make a block. Orange. Orange. Wreckage. Yeah, I don't think there's any Avorion here anyway. There we go. Yeah, the pirates can get a bit annoying inside the barrier. They're a lot stronger. They start in fleet sizes of 4 generally as opposed to 3. So it gets a little bit tougher on the inside of the barrier when compared to outside the barrier. But not a big deal. Our ship is capable of handling quite a bit of damage. Like, it can soak quite a bit. It has a good sized shield generator on it. But it has a decent amount of hull underneath that shielding. So, I mean, I am not too concerned most times about my ship getting destroyed. It's just, if I were to try to fight those pirates, I know that they're going to bring in at least 3 additional waves of 4 ships with them, and I don't really want to fight that long of a battle right now. I'm trying to find Avorion. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to fight pirates. Now, granted, you can get turrets and stuff off of the pirates, so at some point it might make sense to kind of go focus fight the pirates, more or less, but not a big deal. So let's go with the Explorer. We're going to scout out this region of space. You're going to take the scout ship with you, and you're going to go do that. Okay, cool. Now this is faction-occupied space. There is an equipment dock here. We might be able to get another Ogonite laser, if we're lucky. Oh, he sells Xsotans? Oh, that's the cell. Okay. Oh, he only sells subsystems. That's kind of interesting. Resistance outpost, not a equipment dock. But you can pull out your systems at this point. Interesting. So maybe it would, like, since this is here. Where's it at? Right there. Oh, that won't highlight Avorion, though. Never mind. That's not worth doing. If I had the orange system on me still, then I could perma install it and it would highlight Avorion asteroids, but that's alright. Need to reset the lady. And really, I want to move the lady. That region of space does not seem super profitable, if I'm honest. So, like, this faction down here has quite a bit of stuff. 45 minutes of no trade income off of that one ship, but really that does not matter to me all that much. Oh wow, they're going ham on those Xsotans. Collect our money, then we'll fly over and see what parts we can maybe get. Yeah, there's some golds and blues over there. Assuming some of them are turrets, this might actually be a decent pickup point for us. I mean, we didn't actually do any of the fighting, so I have to redo that miner. Good enough. Let's pick some of this stuff up and just kind of see what we get. I'm assuming most of it is going to be like systems and whatnot, but if we can get some turrets out of it. Oh, Xsotan technology fragments, okay. Those can be useful, I think. You know what I should do? Just put on this. It'll make life so much easier for us while we're doing this. That one's pretty far away. Go over this way. See what we get. That might actually be a turret. Nah, torpedo probably. There we go. I am just going to repair this block so that warning goes away. Trader 3. Okay. Alright, so it does not appear that there's Avorion in this area. So fine. It is good to know that this is here, though, because we can come back and use that shipyard if we need to. Take a look at this one next. Can I buy Avorion knowledge here? I cannot. So I'm guessing that means we haven't hit the point where we can actually gather it yet. There we go. I was just trying to force it to load that sector. Alright, cool. Another asteroid sector. This does have a bunch of Xsotan in it, though. That's what the little purples are Xsotans. And these are breeders. They call them wreckages, but that's basically what they are. Okay, so Xsotan sector, that's fine. Oh, he's under attack. Okay. I was going to say that seemed a bit fast. Let's move him in. Well, shoot. Xsotan sector not gonna do that good for us. We could look at moving up this way, though. So apparently there's another warp lane from that faction that goes up this way, so maybe there is a deeper section of their faction that is by Avorion. That trade ship should be fine right there due to the faction ships ships being around, so I'm not too worried about that. Minor, collect from him. We'll warp, and then we'll go and re-automate trader number 3. It's unfortunate when they get ambushed, but it does happen. It's not the end of the world. It's relatively easy to deal with. You just gotta move them into a sector controlled by the faction, and they'll be okay. And you get your money back, or whatever. If they went and bought stuff, then you'll have the item in your inventory, plus a little bit of the money that they started with, so you can just send them out to sell whatever they ended up buying. Try going up over here. I'm wondering if maybe this faction has a gate that will go across this rift. I don't actually know, though. We'll find out. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff right beyond it. We'll go into this one first. Hopefully there's not a bunch of pirates in here. Mainly because it will get our warp engine blocked or whatever. So it just delays how long it'll be before we can jump again. But looks like we're okay in this sector, actually. Where's that pointing to? It must go like all the way. Okay, interesting. Let's try another one of these. And then what we'll do after this one, we'll go back to that faction sector and take the warp gate, I guess. Because, hey, I mean, in theory, if there's a shipyard with this faction we're allied with up in Avorion space, we should be able to buy the Avorion building knowledge right out the gate as well. Another Xsotan sector. That's fine. Okay, let's just go up into here. I thought that we can't actually go up through there because there's a rift. Shoot. Not ideal. Sure, put me in my droney boy. That's fine. We can start maybe moving some of these ships out, I guess. I'm just gonna delete these is basically what I'm gonna do. Get back our resources, credits, blah blah, and it opens up 3 additional ship slots for us. So there is that. We don't really need these at this point. It would make more sense to build the ships where we want them to be, as opposed to warping these guys around. Alright, there we go. Get that cleanup taken care of, more or less. Gives us a couple million credits back and like 150,000 Xanian and Trinian. So it is worth doing, I think. we can use those resources to build like a salvaging ship or something, for example, instead. Oh wow, that moved us way far out. That's fine. Copper mine. Our defenders in this one. Got a salvaging ship right there, but we won't be able to bring him across until after we get Avorion, so that's fine. We'll just go ahead. I don't know. We'll just switch over to the mine for now and just wait. Like, basically, I'm just going to wait for our ship to get to its main point. But I think this is as good a point as any to maybe just wrap up the stream here for today. What we're going to do in the next episode of this Avorion playthrough, the Avorion 2.0 beta series that we've been doing, is I'm going to go ahead and work on trying to get Avorion and getting that building knowledge and all that. And we'll try to do all that on stream. Maybe next time we'll do like a shipbuilding session on stream where I show off how I'm going to upgrade my ship to utilize the additional couple of building knowledge slots or system slot space that we got access to with the Ogonite tier knowledge that we unlocked from crossing the barrier. I'm also going to continue to expand out our stations and economy and everything like that so we can start generating more resources than we currently are. I mean, we're doing okay. Like, our money is not bad. Our resource generation is not bad. It could always be better, though. Like, I'd be much more comfortable if all of these were in the couple of millions as opposed to just a few hundred thousands. But that's okay. Not the end of the world. But guys, we made a lot of progress here today. We not only got all 8 of the Xsotan artifacts wrapped up, so that quest got finished. We were able to cross the barrier. We were able to get Ogonite building knowledge and explore a little bit of the inside of the barrier. So if you enjoyed this stream, be sure to let me know on the YouTube side by commenting and liking the video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to follow me on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, just so you get notified when I go live again, primarily. I do stream a bunch of other games outside of Avorion, such as Kerbal Space Program, Minecraft, there's Apex, there's a bunch of different games that I play. So generally speaking, there's something good on my channel for everyone if you like gaming content. But guys, with that, I think we are going to call it here for today. If, as I said, if you enjoyed the stream, let me know via comments, likes, whatever. And until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see you.